Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Good evening and Merry Christmas Eve as we head into the 24th of December. Everyone awaiting on Santa to get here and awaiting the great times with family and friends. We welcome you into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynard, and yes, it is a festive night. That's why we have broken out the most festive tie that I have. Big shout out to my mother-in-law, Miss Holly, for providing this because it's always the annual tradition of getting to wear it. So yes, if you look, it's a little bit shorter than the average tie, but it's just so festive. You got to wear it on the Christmas forecast. All right, let's go ahead and get into that Christmas forecast here in the Room to Room Weather Center. As we were talking about, warm and dry conditions do continue, so a more merry than chilly night tonight. But we're also tracking some of those foggy conditions moving back into the forecast. So Santa will have to use his low beams coming into North Mississippi. Heading into our Christmas forecast, it's going to be a ho-ho hot Christmas forecast ahead. We'll track every bit of those temperatures coming up here in the Room to Room Weather Center. The first 12 showing you those warm conditions remaining in place. 68 degrees by 6, so some of those Christmas Eve services, not going to be shocked at all if folks are coming in with polos and short sleeves to accommodate for these warm conditions. But heading into those evening hours, 61 by 9, and then off into the upper 50s overnight. But you can see that moisture still in place. So that's allowing for some of those temperatures to remain at bay, only falling off to potentially the mid-50s, but the patchy fog does remain in place, and that'll play a part with some of our early morning commuters, folks heading off to family or friends to open those gifts. Well, just use those low beams just like Santa. Let's get a look outside. A beautiful evening across the area with those dry conditions in place, and that'll continue into those evening hours as well. Now bear with me one moment while I go behind the scenes right here. Yes. Okay. So we're going to stay with those dry conditions into those overnight hours. Haven't seen a sprinkle all day, and a big driver in that forecast has been this dry air. You see it, the legend on the top of your screen, not exactly allowing any of that moisture to move in. If we expand things out, though, that's where we see that moisture going to be a little bit more apparent along parts of Oklahoma City towards Springfield, all the way east into Nashville and Charlotte, North Carolina. So there's your frontal system. There's your next system that's rolling on through. And even then, it's not exactly going to do too much. That's really just going to drive moisture into the forecast, allowing for some of those foggy conditions to form. All right, so let's go ahead and get a look at your Wednesday evening forecast. High pressure, the big driver in our pattern, keeping things dry and that little bit of a disturbance. I mean, not going to be anything too impactful. As you see on surface analysis, not a drop of rainfall, so we do stay dry into those evening hours. Futurecast, highlighting that a little bit more, does show the potential for a sprinkle. Why we don't think this will happen, why we don't expect it to happen, is because it hasn't verified. The past 48 hours, it's hinted at those greens popping up, but those greens have never verified into actual rainfall, so we continue to stay on the drier side. And even if a green does show up on radar, we expect it to remain more elevated and not playing a part in our forecast here on the ground. Still a very dry pattern into those Christmas Eve services. Let's work our way into those overnight hours. 10 p.m. still seeing dry and partly cloudy conditions overhead. High pressure keeps that moisture away, but with that moisture, at least the moisture in the air still in the forecast, that allows for some of those patchy fog to develop. There we go. I got the Christmas state of mind right now. That patchy fog to develop by those early morning hours and linger in our forecast heading into our Thursday morning, our Christmas morning. So yes, the gift that keeps on giving, that warmer air, well, the other gift that keeps on giving is that fog, and it's going to play a part in our Christmas morning forecast as well. So the next 24, what are we tracking? Well, first off, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody here in North Mississippi. But 6 a.m., 56 degrees, patchy fog over the area, moving into partly cloudy skies by 9, and that sticks around to those afternoon forecasts as well. But with that cloud cover, not exactly keeping any of the heat away. We're climbing back into the mid-70s by the afternoon, reaching as high as 76 degrees by 3. So I hope you got your shorts and t-shirts ready. Christmas sweaters probably won't be necessary for this forecast. It's going to be a toasty one, especially for this time of year. All right, coming up here in the next 60, what are we going to be looking at? Well, Christmas Day forecast. What do we need to know? We'll be tracking every bit of that, but not just the Christmas Day forecast. It's what happens beyond the forecast. The pattern starts to shift heading into the new year. We'll track every bit of that coming up here in the Room to Room Weather Center for Mississippi Live Weather at 6 in the next 60.
Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
This Christmas season, we're counting our greatest blessing, the people and communities we call home. As a locally owned bank, we don't just serve our customers, we serve our neighbors and friends. Merry Christmas to you and your family from all of us at First Choice Bank.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
If you're a family of 4, 5,
or 6, 7,
Merry Christmas
from
Mississippi Live Weather.
That was good.
I think that was the one.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, you guys didn't do it.
No, we didn't.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
It's absolutely unreal that Christmas is right around the corner. Services already going on or will go on here in the next couple of hours. So Christmas, that countdown to the holidays, it's right around the corner. One day away, and as you can see, Santa already getting down the chimney in a few parts of the world, working their way into Tupelo overnight and all of North Mississippi. And then New Year's, 8 days away. Any of those New Year's resolutions that you need to get done only have about 8 days to do it. So go ahead and get those wrapped up and prep for 2026 because it is right around the corner. Now we are preparing here at Mississippi Live Weather for a very festive forecast. That's why, of course, we had to break out the best tie of the 12 ties of Christmas. If you've been following along on my Facebook page, meteorologist Gabe Maynor, we've been doing a new tie each week, and this is the finale. And this was given to me by my mom-in-law, that is Miss Holly. I see her in chat, so thank you, Miss Holly, for this. It's been an annual tradition right around the Christmas holiday to break it out, show it off, and we'll continue to do so despite, it's a fun tie for sure. So if you see a little bit of a sparkle, yeah, it's my tie. Apologies there, but we got to be festive on Christmas Eve. Let's go ahead and get into that forecast. Again, taking a look outside at those dry conditions across Panola County. Batesville, 72 degrees, dew point at 61. Still with those winds about 6 miles an hour out of the southwest. That's helping keep the fog away. But that fog, or should I say those winds, calm down and the fog will start to build as a result into those overnight hours. Still patchy across the area, but nonetheless still a concern for our Christmas morning. Now this is more like what we'd expect. 72 degrees in Tupelo, 61 degree dew points, still with that calm wind. A calm wind allowing for that moisture to settle right over the top of us, not in the form of rainfall, but with the moisture still in the air. That's what allows that fog coverage to form, but that's not what any of us are paying attention to. It's that sunset. Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody. It's just such a gift getting to be in North Mississippi with you guys and enjoying these beautiful sunsets. There's nothing like it. And we just love every second of the 5 o'clock hour getting to spend it with you guys and see these views. 73 degrees in Columbus. Had to show off some of the MDOT cams because, as you can see, traffic building up in some spots. I will say, a little surprised in Columbus that it's not too hectic. I think that it's looking as good as it could be, especially along Highway 45 there in the downtown Columbus area. So for folks heading out and about this evening, heading to services or getting any last minute shopping done, if stores are even still open, well, it's going to be a good forecast. Just have to deal with a lot of other cars on those roadways. 73 degrees in Columbus. Our Mississippi Live Weather radar staying dry, staying clear, but staying warm, and that continues to be the big story. But as you can see, those dry conditions, they've persisted for the past couple of days now, despite, Futurecast trying to hint at a sprinkle here and there. None of that has actually verified. And as we head into our forecast on Christmas, those dry conditions do remain overhead, so don't need to worry about any of that for our Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Speaking of Christmas Eve forecast, 68 degrees by 6, 63 by 8, and 61 degrees by 10 o'clock. Still with partly cloudy skies, but no chance of rain in that forecast. So just wear those short sleeves and you'll be good to go. No need to have an umbrella or sweater in regards to this forecast. As we take a look at our Futurecast, of course, highlighting that little bit of moisture moving into the area. Again, not sold on the fact that we'll get a sprinkle, but I think that fog is going to be the main thing that we need to worry about whenever this moisture pushes back in. So that's into your Wednesday evening, into your Christmas Eve evening. And as we head overnight, Santa comes into town, is enjoying some of those patchy fog, or some of that patchy fog, and probably having the low beams on as a result, or at least Rudolph's low beams. Got to accommodate. But as we get into those overnight hours, nonetheless, if we're heading out and about, still going to be a forecast where things do get a little bit more foggy, especially during those early AM hours on our Christmas. So if you are heading out the door a little bit early to go see family and friends, just do what Santa does, have those low beams on. So 5 a.m. on your Thursday. Yes, it is going to have some of that fog in the forecast, but that fog works as a blanket. Keeps that heat around, and that's what's going to keep our temperatures mild. Out the door Christmas morning, 54 degrees Amory, 55 in Bruce, 58 Greenwood, and 59 towards Tunica and South Haven. Now, Of course, wind chill not going to be a factor just because it's not cold enough for there to be a wind chill, so we don't need to worry about that. Into the rest of our Christmas day, as you can see, those dry conditions do persist. I know what you're seeing, some of the greens popping up. Not going to verify. Again, elevated moisture, not going to be in the form of any rainfall. We are continuing to stay with those drier conditions. Even by 9 a.m., where there's a little bit more of a cluster, not exactly verifying here on the ground. So we'll stay dry into our Christmas holiday. Now, you do notice that cloud cover does continue to build. Some of that dense cloud coverage expected to hinder those skies just a bit from seeing the sunshine, but some of that will break through. As you can see, a little bit of a breakdown there towards Chula and Greenwood by noontime, even there in Lee County, there towards Tupelo and Sherman. Now, as we carry that over into the afternoon forecast, still those mostly cloudy conditions, and that carries over into any of our Christmas evening plans that we may have, but nonetheless still looking like a good forecast. And the warm temperatures, they'll continue for sure, so don't need to change that wardrobe just yet. That might be able to wait until 2026. Here's a look at high temperatures on your Thursday, on your Christmas, potentially record-setting day. You see at the top left, record 78 degrees set in 1987. Well, it's 2025, and there's always room for new opportunity. And as you can see, a few 78 showing up in Houston, 77 Tupelo and Amory, 76 Columbus. And as we jump out west, 76 Clarksdale, 73 Cleveland, and 75 around Greenwood. So there is potential to at least tie that record, but nonetheless, we're close enough to where you can get the picture. It's abnormally warm for this time of year. So Thursday evening, your Christmas evening, wrapping up Christmas 2025. We are going to continue to enjoy those beautiful conditions. Maybe a little bit of cloud coverage, but we can handle some clouds as long as there's no rain attached to it. And into our Friday, that's where we start to track this next frontal system rolling into the area. Now this is going to be able to bring some drier air back behind it. But again, like the front we just had, pump faking us. I played basketball growing up, so I love basketball references, and the best way I can describe it is, a shot fake and then they dribble right by you and get to the hoop. Well, that's exactly what this is doing, but the hoop is up towards the northeast here in North Mississippi. We're the defender that's left in the dust at this point. So noontime on your Friday, not exactly going to be enjoying the effects of the cold front. No colder air moving in behind it. So Friday still remaining abnormally warm, but still dry. And that's where we are definitely fortunate because a large part of that moisture going to be tied to that cold front. So by 10 p.m. on our Friday, still enjoying that cloud cover, and that'll continue to be in place into those overnight hours and for at least the start of our weekend. But then things start to change heading into our Sunday. We'll track that out coming up a little bit later in your Christmas Eve forecast. High temperatures on your Friday, 75 Oxford, 76 Water Valley, 78 Bruce, 75 in Amory, and 72 around Booneville. So several locations remaining in the 70s all week long. That's almost a record in itself for how long we've seen this warm weather, but potentially record-setting. That's what we're paying attention to behind the scenes here at Mississippi Live Weather. So your Christmas Day planner, what do you need to know? It's going to be dry all day long, patchy fog for that morning commute, and beyond that, warm temperatures by the afternoon, 76 degrees where we top out around 3 p.m. And as we keep that going with the rest of the 7 day, you can see those warm and dry conditions just persist well into the weekend. But then, I told you, things start to change. And speaking of change, this forecast, the pattern kind of changing as well because yes, we were tracking a Sunday afternoon cold front. That is now being pushed a little bit later on into the day. So we expect that Sunday night into Monday morning, and as a result, bringing some scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two. But the big difference is temperatures. 74 Sunday afternoon, dropping to 41 Monday afternoon. And 59 Sunday morning, dropping to 34 Monday morning, and heading into our New Year's Eve, 22, only climbing to 40 degrees. So yes, it'll be a flip of the script. That forecast is changing, and so heading into those New Year's Eve plans, we will want those layers back, so don't let them get too far away from you, but really appreciate the warm weather that we have right now here in North Mississippi in 2026. 48 degrees for highs, 23 degrees for lows. Woo, man, it's going to be a cold one for sure, so make sure to have those layers. Okay, we are tracking Santa. I know it's still daylight here in North Mississippi, but let's get a look at where Santa is heading right now on our Santa tracker. Of course, some areas in night, some areas actually in Christmas morning already. But Santa, as of right now, is going to be around the Berlin, Germany area. That is where he's working his way through Germany, and seeing a few folks over there. We had a few German exchange students, so potentially seeing them as well. And then off to Turkey and Istanbul, going to be dropping off a few gifts out there to all of the folks on the nice list. And beyond that, he's heading south all the way to Cairo, Egypt. And that is where Santa's going to be hanging around just because it's nighttime there. Folks are asleep and they're ready to wake up into Christmas morning with some great gifts. And hey, we'll be doing the same here in the next couple of hours. So can't wait to see where Santa's headed and when he'll get here to North Mississippi. And of course, we'll be tracking that all behind the scenes here at Mississippi Live Weather. Best way to keep up with Santa and keep up with that forecast for them is with the Mississippi Live Weather app. We thank you so much for just joining us tonight and being with us on your Christmas Eve, which just means the world to us. And hey, North Mississippi is definitely a family, and we are grateful to be a part of yours here, giving you the forecast, but also just having fun with those Christmas plans as well. Go ahead and download that Mississippi Live Weather app, free and available on iOS and Android. And of course, we will be live coming up at 6 o'clock, tracking Santa wherever he's headed, but also tracking the latest on your Christmas forecast and what to expect beyond that. And hey, New Year's Eve, not too far away either. We'll look at detail on that forecast coming up at 6 o'clock. We cannot wait to see you guys there. But until then, have a Merry Christmas Eve. And you guys enjoy that. Always know the reason for the season. Of course, baby Jesus coming into this world. But spend some time with friends and family, just reminiscing on that, appreciating that, and of course, having a great time in the process. We appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll see you back here at 6.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy